Hi there, it's Christian from Spitfire Audio. Thanks for joining me for another quick tip. Today I'm going to look at how I click tracks. So I like working free from metronomes when I'm writing and composing and arranging. But then if I need to get musicians to play on top, we need to give them some idea of which bar they're in and where they're at. So I've prepared this very short piece for you, which chops off at the end horribly here. This is predominantly my felt piano, which is in the corner of the room there, another one that comes in there, and some little bespoke string samples that I've made, the lovely mandolin swarm, and some nice pizzicato. So the first thing I need to do is just have a quick listen to work out how we're going to approach this. So as you can hear, worked completely free of click. It's just at a kind of nominal 90 BPM. And then when it gets going, so it's nowhere near it. So the first thing I need to do is make sure that my sequence starts from bar 5. This is my uniform starting point for all of my compositions. So let's just mark the first mod. Just go in there a little bit. That's the first mod. Let's make sure that's in there. And then we're going to move that to bar 5 along with everything else. Just put that there, make it a little bit easier. And then we need to get rid of that and make that bar 5. Okay, so that's good. Now, there's no other instruments in here, so it doesn't matter. We can have the piano totally rubato. But what I do want is I want this to be on a 1, if you know what I mean. So what I'm just going to do is just going to adjust. We just have a look at that and have a look at that mod there. We just adjust the tempo so that first mod comes towards us. Okay, that's good for now. So now what I'm going to do is switch the click off, and on any track I'm just going to tap in alongside my playing. Now you can get other people to do this if you've got any willing candidates, but the problem is, I find, is it's only you who understands the way you play if you're playing rubato or with a robbing rhythm. So I'm going to actually physically tap in how I played, and then I can correct some of those anomalies if I feel it's not quite right. Okay, here we go. Okay, I think the nice thing about this is with exception to the double basses at the end, this is quite a simple piece for the string players to play to. So the tempo doesn't have to kind of exactly match. So next thing really important to do is to lock all of our regions so they all don't get affected by the tempo changes we're about to put in. Okay, so if I remember correctly, that is functions, lock synthy position, and then everything has a little thing. So regardless of what you change up in the tempo, it's all going to work out in the wash. So let's have a listen to the click. Okay, so I have to say, I also felt that the beginning bits were a bit out of time. If we're doing something super tight, what I'd do is I'd just actually physically move these around and make sure they weren't they were perfectly in time. But I won't bother now because it's quite a rubato piece. The other thing I'll also do is let's just unlock synthy position and make sure that isn't quantized. The whole point of this, you can see that all shifts. So let's re-log that. Okay, next thing we need to do is show the global tracks, which is there, show global tracks. And what I'm interested in is the tempo and global tracks, show beat mapping track. There we go. So let's make that nice and big there. Okay, so with that all set, I'm just going to put a kind of arbitrary one on the very first plop, and then we have to count 1, 2, 3, 4, and there we are. 1, 2, 3, 4, there we are. And then we just work our way all along. 1, 2, 3, 4. Can be a little fiddly, but it's well worth doing this automatically. It's well worth doing this manually. I've tried the various different automatic measures, and 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, and they never work. And you spend most of your time just diagnosing what's gone and trying to correct it, and actually just meticulously going through every bar yourself. 1, 2, 3. I'm just going to do each of those because that's a little slightly more complicated for the double bass players there at the end, just to, if they're playing along. So let's make sure my silly little sine waves are muted, and let's have a listen. Okay, you can see there's probably little areas where we could go in and actually just really refine the way the clicks are working, but it's really about just listening to what cues the string players need. So you get really detailed if you want to. So that's the basic principle. When working with clicks like this with musicians, certainly in England, Britain, they're certainly capable of playing sight reading with these kind of clicks. The way I'd suggest it is, instead of overmarking the score, is just let them have a listen to it once through, and what they'll do is they'll make their own shorthand marks. But they really just need to learn the click. Other methods you can use is to use streamers with conductors and this, that and the other. But if you're trying to match samples against live players, this is the way to go. Thanks for spending some more time with me. Bye-bye.